Welcome to the Spa Girls podcast, the self-publishing podcast for authors. You're in the right place for the best writing, marketing, and publishing advice, plus interviews with industry experts and best-selling authors. I'm Cheryl Phipps.
I'm Shah Barrett.
I'm Wendy Vella.
And I'm Trudy J. Hello. And this
Hello.
week we have the delightful Ines Johnson with us. Hello.
Yay!
Yay!
Welcome back.
Yay,
So
I'm
good to see
back.
you again.
Yeah,
Yes,
you are
yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to
So
really
good.
quickly read your bio and then we're going to dig into the topic, which is all about direct
You got
sales
it.
for authors.
Mhm.
And we'll go from there. Yeah. So, lover of fairy tales, folklore, and mythology, Johnson spends her days reimagining the stories of old in a modern world. She writes books where damsels cause the distress, princesses wield swords, and mums save the world. Before becoming a full-time author, Ines worked as a television producer and a college professor, so she knows some things about writing and helping people. She's also a best-selling multi-six-figure author who is rocking it with direct sales. Yay!
Yay! Welcome, Minnie.
Welcome. My maiden name was Johnston, so I mess up your name because I kind of just trying to give you my surname.
Want to put a T in
So
there?
we're cousins, is what I'm hearing.
Yes, related.
There you go. Why not?
No, we last had you on June 2020, and before we hit
Yes.
record, we were just sort of chatting about crazy times that were happening around us at that time. So I'm just curious, what's been happening since then? How have you been going? What's changed in your world?
So yeah, I here's it's so fascinating because they'll tell you like when you go to conferences or when you're just chatting with people to look around you and not everybody's going to be there next year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. And if you look around, you'll see that. You'll see that. If you're longtime listeners of this show and you heard me on 4 years ago and you look around, not everybody is standing next to you anymore. And I think that the reason that a
I
couple of the
just got
reasons
chills
that
then. Sorry to interrupt you.
okay, I'm gonna try and warm you up. I think that some of the reasons that that happens is because people don't evolve. Something works and they think it's gonna work forever. I wish it worked forever, you guys. I want that too. But that's just not how life or business is. Things evolve, things change, trends change. Alpha heroes are in, they're out, vampires are alive, they're dead. It happens. And
Hard
if
to
you
kill, but hey, yeah.
right? And if you stay still and you stay stuck, the tide is going to pass you by. I do love the that notion that a rising tide lifts all boats, but if you just stay at your port and you
Mm.
don't go traveling around and
Yeah,
see what everybody else is doing,
yeah.
then you could very well be left behind. Yes,
Mhm.
and people get burned out. That happens. Some people only have one or two ideas and then that's it. That happens too. So what I have been doing for the last 4 years is I've been constantly asking myself, who am I? Not so much existential crisis, just making sure that I'm it's that notion of staying in your lane, but I might want to might want to get off on this exit and get onto another highway and then again stay in my lane. So I think when I first talked to you guys, I was just starting to do really well with my clean and wholesome romance, but that's not how I started. I started with my Ines pen name, which has always been very steamy, always had some kind of element of magic or paranormal or fantasy in it.
Mhm.
But I pivoted because I saw the market shifting. And now in 2024, I see the market shifting again. My Ines books are overtaking my Sweet Shanae books because the
Wow.
market is shifting again.
Mhm.
Wow, that's so
Wow.
interesting.
Go
Mm,
figure.
yeah. Can't sit still.
No rest for the wicked, though.
No,
So
no,
you've kept
no.
up Inez that whole time, even though you sort of said the Shanae books, the sweet and wholesome, they were ranchers, aren't they? They were the injured
Military,
military men.
wounded
Yeah.
warriors. Yes.
Yeah, there we go. And but you kept up Inez and kept the more spicy books
Shanae.
going through that whole
Yep.
time. Yeah, that's cool. And
Because
now
I built an
it's
audience. Shanae has a bigger audience. Excuse me. Ines has a bigger audience than Shanae,
Right.
but Shanae's buyers buy.
mm,
And I put out a book, they buy it. But I,
Yeah.
I started to see that that audience wasn't growing over the last year, maybe even the last 2 years. I really started to notice it last year.
Mm.
That audience wasn't growing.
okay.
That was a hard pill to swallow, but it wasn't growing. and I looked at my Ines books that were on the rise, like books I wrote 5 years ago. And I'm like, where have you guys been? I've been here.
Hello.
And readers are hungry for that because, like I said, I've always written some kind of fantasy in my books, and romantasy is just broken through the glass ceiling. It's on to the next stratosphere, on to the next
Yeah.
galaxy.
Yeah.
And so people are coming for that. So I'm blessed and lucky that I'm writing things that I love that are air quotes to trend. But even when I'm not, like, bully romance continues to be pretty big, but I was like, I can't do that. I don't can't write a mean hero. To save my life, I could not make him mean.
Yeah.
So I would just look at, I can do enemies to lovers, which bully romance is an extreme of, but I just can't go that extreme. I know reverse harem was a trend, and now it's pretty mainstream. When I first started, I was writing polyamorous romance, which it wasn't one girl and her harem. It was maybe a couple, and they would go off and have adventures. And years ago, like a decade ago, that was popular. Like when ebooks were still brand new, and people were like, "Ooh, what is inside of this digital file?" But those books just stopped selling. And I was like, can I do this reverse harem? I liked menage romance. I thought that was fun. But I was like, three? I gotta keep up with three guys or more? So
I think reverse harem is so hard.
Yeah, it could be so hard to write.
So hard. So it's looking at what's going on, not turning a blind eye to it, and figuring out your space. Because like I said, the highways are changing, but you want to figure out your space on that new highway.
No, that's really cool. And so you've, as part of those changes, have obviously jumped on to direct sales as being something that authors are doing these days. When did it first kind of come on your radar as an idea? How did you get into it?
So I knew I wanted to do something like this. I wanted to sell from my own website very early on. I just couldn't figure out how to do it. I didn't have the tools to do it. It wasn't easy to do it. You guys remember in the old days when we had to teach readers how to site? We're old, right? We've been here 10 years. We're old.
We all deserve a gold medal or some kind
still
of
being here.
stripes on our arm for being here around that long.
Right.
Exactly. But we had to teach people how to side load onto their devices. And thank you, Damon, from BookFunnel for solving that problem. But I knew that I wanted to be able to do something like that. I wanted the control because nobody's going to take better care of you than you. That's really the truth. MySpace was on and popping, but who has a MySpace page anymore, right? Facebook is on and popping right now, but we also see that audience shifted. Look at TikTok. There's just so much stuff. Like Instagram has changed. Everything is just constantly changing. So that both excites me, but it also makes me nervous because I get it, you guys. I want things to stay the same, even though I know that they're going to change. And so I'm constantly thinking, like, where's a safe space? And the safest space is in my home, on my property, and that's like my website. So I've just been trying to figure it out. And then I saw Katie Cross, who I think you guys have talked to, but direct sales.
Yes.
I was listening to her, and I just thought, oh my gosh, you're so smart. I want to do everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
Because she figured it out. She was selling on Shopify, but you didn't even have to do Shopify. Like Joanna Penn, if you Google Joanna Penn plus PayHip, she has a blog post up about how to do this on PayHip, and it's air quotes free because you just get charged the service fee after the purchase. But PayHip will deliver the file, they'll take the money, they'll deal with taxes. It's great. So you can do all of this stuff, and I have done that. I did the PayHip, and I was making a couple sales a day, and that was so cool. But when I saw all the ways that I could bundle things up and offer coupons and offer incentives that you can do with Shopify, I was sold, and I gave it my full attention.
That's brilliant. And when was that? Like, when did you first start?
I launched my store in March of 2022.
Okay.
And it was not immediately profitable. I was making a couple $100s a month despite an investment because I needed to be taught. I was like, I'm not going to figure this out all by myself. So I went to Katie's guru and I learned from him, learned some fantastic lessons. and was not immediately profitable, which is going to happen. This is a new business. We always have to remember that. You want to get into audio, it's a new business. You want to get into German translations, it's a new business. You're not immediately going to be profitable. I hope that you are, but know that most people are not. And so I lost money, but I just didn't give up. I kept at it because I knew this is how I wanted my business to evolve. And I knew that businesses were going to have to evolve. I mean, you also were hearing things like they were shutting down romance authors on certain retailers, even on Patreon, they were shutting down romance authors. Why are they always coming for us? But you can come on those other places, but if I'm in my house on my website, you can't come at me. So I just always wanted to have like a backup or a fail safe.
Yeah. I love that you didn't give up. That's the thing that I think is, you talked earlier about how, you look around and not everyone's with you still and with all of us. And I think that's another thing that we have to, the people who just don't give up, you're just so determined to make it work that you keep trying and don't let the different problems and challenges and I'm hesitant to say failures, but that come along.
Fail though, Trudy. First
It's
attempt
just
in learning. Remember that.
Yes, I know.
Completely agree with that. I'm not afraid to fail because it's going to teach me something and I want the lesson.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. So that's really cool. I love that. And then so you started with PayHip and then you moved to Shopify because it had more bells and whistles. It's more expensive though, right? Obviously, you pay a monthly.
It's like $39 a month.
Okay, so it's not too bad. And then what are some of the things you learned early on? Like what were some of the challenges? How did you get over that? Get from 200 a month to selling more?
So I do want to say that Shopify is not the only game in town. There's things like ThriveCart, which is a one-time payment. There, you can do this on WooCommerce. You can do this on Wix. People do. So there's ways to fit your budget. And like I said, there's always PayHip, which is air quotes free, and you're just paying the service charge, which automatically comes out. So there's a lot of different ways to do this. So when I first started, again, yes, I just did not give up because I was like, this is how I want this to work. I also wanted to be able to give different things to my customers. I love the notion because I mean, you guys can see me on video. You're seeing like 1/10 of all the planners and papers and stickers and pens that are around me.
Please don't encourage Shah.
Salivating at talking about those later on.
So I love when I can add to cart, right? Even on Amazon, where you can add to cart, where you see one thing and then you see other things that'll make it easier or make it even more special. So I wanted to be able to do things like that. I wanted to be able to sell like my ebooks and my audiobooks. And what if you wanted the print book as well? But what if you wanted to mix and match the different books? And what if you wanted merchandise? And what if so I love that idea where I like to be giving people choices. I think I lost the original thread of your question though.
It was how did you like the build in terms of going from the beginning sort of $200 a month?
What was the steps you took to sort of get things moving?
So I can tell you where the failure that led to the silver lining was. It's that I was trying to be too much like a digital shop on Shopify. If you ever see Shopify or WooCommerce, they all have the same template. If you look at the screen, on like the left side of the screen is a picture of the product. On the right side of the screen is the name of the product, the price, and the buy button. And that's what I was doing. I was following that, and I wasn't getting a lot of sales. And I realized it's because I'm selling a book. I'm not selling a lamp or a pots and pans where you're telling me the pots are blue and they're ceramic. Like, it's a book. It's 5x8. It's got this many words. No, what readers want, they want the story.
Yeah.
So once I started to use my sales page as basically A+ content, think about that. Once I started to use it as this is the story, once I started to use graphics to bring them into the world, once I started to put excerpts where it was a nice snap, because I love to write alphas. So if I almost used his voice to be like, hey girl, you want this book, you do. Something like that to trigger a reader to just one click. That's when things started to change.
I love that because that, and I say this with every respect to all the people that are talking about particularly Shopify stores, it flies in the face of, this isn't a author website, this is a store, it's different. And that's something I've always kind of, just as a reader, kind of struggled with a little bit. So if I'm a huge Dahlia fan, I don't want the website with just the pictures, I want the description, the whole thing. And to me, it's a sort of the same thing, but that is a little different to how conventional wisdom would say.
I completely agree with you. I was looking at some websites today with a friend because I have another idea. And we were looking at we were looking at the websites of some women that were doing it really well. And I was looking at their homepages and I was like, all I see are book covers. Like, I'm a brand new customer. I haven't read any of your books, and all I see are just covers. How do I know that this is the catnip? Like, my catnip is forced proximity. Any kind of marriage or convenience, I'm there. I don't care if they're in a carriage, if they're on a spaceship, if they're on a road trip, it doesn't matter.
Just
You tell me
close
somebody
it.
has to get married, I will read it. But looking at these covers, I couldn't tell if any of those books were my catnip. I was like, where's the story? Do I have to go in and click on each one of these covers to get the story? And that for me presented a poor user experience because I'm a reader. I'm looking for a story. Tell me. The end. We're done.
Sorry.
Storytelling.
That
now
was
we're all
great.
fixed.
And now, where were the Spa Girls?
Can I just interrupt because that completely froze for me and I'm the one recording, so I got none of that last little bit that I was frozen for.
Which was absolute gold.
I know,
Yeah,
I'm sure it
yeah.
was. So I need you to repeat it
no.
again as if it was, I have no idea what we were just saying. You were just
We were
talking
talking about story. Did you get the bit about story?
Storytelling, yeah. And I was
Yeah.
talking about how conventionally the Shopify
Yeah, I've got all that. It
Got all
was
the
just that bit
Dahlia
where you were
stuff.
just the last bit of what you were saying about how you've got to sell you the story and
The cover thing.
yeah, just having how you went to the websites and they were just covers and
So yes. So I was talking with a friend earlier today because I have a new idea for a subscription program. And we went to the website of a couple of authors that were doing something similar to this, and they just had their covers. Both, it was two authors that were doing well, and they just had their covers on their pages. And I'm like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what this story is. This is not giving. I do know that these authors write a specific kind of story, but I don't know, like, who is this girl on the book? Who is this guy? Like, there were even no blurbs. So what really changed things for me and my direct selling business was putting the story front and center, putting my A+ content front and center. And I love just using that kind of shorthand, but what I mean by A+ content, we authors know, is if you like those sliced images where it might be like a cutout of the characters and then like a quote, that would give me an idea of story. Or
Yeah.
sometimes they'll have a scene there, or sometimes they'll put reviews there, stuff like that to tell me that this is the experience that I want to have. Like I said, I love forced proximity. And if you tell me that he has to marry her in order to get his inheritance, and she has to marry him because her brother passed away and she can't have his child, her niece, without being married, I'm there. I will read it.
You should write that
So,
story. It sounds
yeah.
really good.
So I'm gonna go write that. But I want that, especially if you're a new to me author that I don't know. I want to know your characters first.
So how do you do that? What did you do to bring that to life?
So remember, you still get on a product page, just like if you go to Amazon, to any book page on Amazon, you still get an image on one side, you get the title, the amount it costs, and the buy buttons. And then underneath that, some people like to put the blurb, which I think is great. But even before that, I like to put the trope. Like with my Wounded Warriors, like you'll
yes.
see the book
Yeah.
cover, you'll see the
Yeah.
buy buttons and all that, and then you'll see into the world where these men were fighting for our country and they were wounded, never thinking that their scars could ever receive the love of a woman until then. And
That's
then put the
beautiful.
blurb, right?
Yes.
I need a copy of this to make sure I go and change that to say. But if you like Wounded Warriors, if you like Marriage of Convenience, if you like Small Town, those give you the clues.
Yeah.
that this is going to be your catnip. And then I can tell you more about this. I can give you the blurb. I can give you some more specs. I can try to sell you some other things before you leave the page. But I got you a story.
Yeah. It's not complicated, is it? You know,
No.
people want to know it's a small town enemies to lovers romance, or it's a, you know, they really do want to know that, and we sort of dance about it instead of just telling them.
I think
That's true. I think that we a lot of times we have I get decision fatigue, so I understand this and I'm calling myself out too. But a lot of times when there's something new for us to learn, we want just give me the template. Just give me the template. I will plug and chug. And we don't think about how we're unique or how our stories are unique and how that needs to go there. That's the key. And it is work, but it pays off.
Yeah.
I think
But
you
that's
need to
work
come and
that
live in my
then
house.
translates to everything though, right? Because when you're doing the work on that, then that same work still applies to whether it's advertising you're doing, whether it's your book club that you're doing, whether it's, you know, it's how it's everything. So it's not, you can then use that brain pennies that you spend on that in so many other ways, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So I've written a lot of books, but they're all series. And so I prefer to sell the bundle of books. So instead of doing this for 100 books, I might be doing this for 10 series. And so I might be, and not all of my bundles, it's just the same as not all of my books sell. Like that polyamory does not sell no matter what I do because the market has moved on. But my Wounded Warriors, they continue to sell. So there's 13 books in that series. So I'm basically designed the product page for either one book or the bundle of books. And then that's now my template for those books.
Nice. It makes total sense.
It does.
Yeah.
So if someone's just starting out, actually two things. I'm going to jump back a bit because you were talking about the using story to sell these books. And I want to move that out and extend it out to everything. And it's kind of what Shai was saying, but like, what do you think of, like, do we use that same kind of storytelling as authors through everything that we do? Is what I would kind of say. Like, would you agree with that? And like we're kind of selling a story or an idea when we're putting, you know, like it's the difference between Ines and Shanae. You know, like the one's selling this kind of story, you know, the wholesome, sweet, but the kind of wounded hero story, and then the spicier kind of fantasy stuff that maybe Ines does. And those are you're still selling a story around those two author names, aren't you? So it's just, we kind of do it everywhere. This is a good lesson for everywhere.
I think there's different ways to sell stories. Some authors are just super charismatic, and I always think about like why Patreon is called that, because you're getting people who enjoy your art to patronize you, to pay for you, right? So some people are so charismatic, they're like, I don't care what you write. You can write on a napkin. I want to support you. So you could be selling yourself, or you're selling this genre. Like I said, I exclusively read romance and some self-help books. So if I know you're a romance author, count me in. Or you might like certain tropes. Remember I said marriage of convenience? I love it. I write it. I read it. If you can sell me on just the trope of marriage of convenience. Then you can also sell on the characters. There's certain character archetypes that we like. So you can sell on the character archetype. So there's different things that you can sell on, but I also think that TikTok has really trained us very well to do it quickly. I think that watching TikToks and watching viral TikToks and figuring out why someone went and clicked on that particular TikTok, I think that's key. I really do. Because again, it just condensed it down to just that gut level. Like, I gotta have it, I gotta read it for just like a 10-second little blurb. And I think if you can put as many of these things as you can onto the product page, I think that's what will sell your book. And I really do think all of those things, but it's very interesting because different things, and this is what I played with. Different things at different points on my sales page will sell better. Like, I learned quickly that Shanae's readers weren't interested in hearing about me. They wanted to hear about this world. They wanted to belong to this world. Inez's readers, a lot of times I'm writing paranormal. They wanted the guy. They wanted that alpha. They wanted to understand what his kink was. That's what sold it. So play around. Like you'll still see all these things on that. Like my author bio is somewhere on there. Reviews are somewhere on there. You know it's a romance. You know that it is Wounded Warrior, Small Town, or that it's Alpha Dragons, Shifters. You'll know all of that. But I played around with where things were until I got the highest conversion.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's cool.
Nice.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
another thing was, do we have to set every single one of our books up to start with, or can we just start with one? What's the best way to do all that?
I
How
don't
did you?
recommend as a direct seller that selling one book at least not one ebook at a time. Because think about it, we're selling ebooks from anywhere from $3 to like $8. I personally think that it's tough to run a business on an $8 product, especially if you are going to be sending ads to it. That cost gets high. Like we send traffic ads to to Amazon and on the other retailers, and traffic ads cost us pennies, right? Dimes, maybe a quarter every once in a while. But when you're sending people away from a retailer onto somewhere that they don't know, one, it's going to cost you more money. Two, you really don't want to be doing traffic ads. You want to be doing purchase ads because Facebook knows like who comes out of pocket and who doesn't. In a traffic ad, Facebook will send your ads to its users, and when the users click, they get rerouted to Amazon, and then Amazon says thank you. They welcome them inside and they shut the door in our faces like they're like a bouncer
Yeah.
at a club that like our
Yeah,
customer
yeah.
is cool to come inside, but we can't.
Yeah.
But if you use a purchase ad or a sales ad, you're sending them to your site. You're sending them to your house. You're letting them pass the velvet rope, and you can follow them inside, meaning you get more of their information. You get to watch their behaviors, like literally watch their behaviors with heat maps and things and spyware technology. It's beautiful. It's amazing. So you get a lot of information. So yeah, I would not sell. And those ads are more expensive. Like you're not paying pennies and dimes and quarters anymore. You're paying dollars. So if you're selling an $8 product and it costs you $5 to get that click, it's going to get tight. It's going to get real tight real quick. So I recommend selling in bundles. You want to increase the value of what you're selling. So instead of selling one book, why not sell 3? Why not sell 6? Why not sell the ebooks and the print together? Why not sell the ebooks and the print and the audio together? Increase the average order value so that your money is working harder for you.
Yeah.
Can I just ask, I have asked this before of other guests, do you ever put any links on that would let them go somewhere else if they decided that they see it on your page, but actually I'd rather buy it from Amazon? Are there any links like that on your pages?
My house is the best party. I want you to stay in my house. So nope, I'm not going to give you any invitations anywhere else. Plus, our readers are smart. If they went and if they came to your site and they saw a Cheryl Phipps book, they're like, oh, I'm kind of nervous. I don't know that I want to be in here. I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna go to Amazon. They will take your name and your book and they will see themselves out and go to Amazon. Cool. You still got some money. But if you use that purchase ad, you also got information on them too, so you can resend an ad to them again.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't go to Amazon, don't send people to Amazon. I'm not saying that at all. I'm trying to give readers a better deal. Like you can't get these bundles on. Think about Amazon, from $2.99 to $9.99. That's when we get our 70%. Anything above or below that, we get 30%. So if I'm bundling something for $25, I'm not going to make, right? I'm not going to make the good money on that.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to put that up on Amazon. They can't get that on Amazon. They have to go and buy one book at a time on Amazon. Cool. But if you want that bundle deal, if you want a 10% discount, if you want whatever else I'm offering you, come to my house.
Yeah.
So let's talk about a couple of those things that you just talked about then. One was audio. So you sell audio off your direct site. Are you doing anything in particular to facilitate that, like to make that work better for you, or any tips and tricks
To drive sales.
driving sales or doing things there?
Not yet, but I have a plan. I just came back from Author Nation and I had the best conversation with Spotify, who are looking for shorter content. My books are shorter. My bestsellers are like 30 to 40K long.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, those are my best sellers, and I think it's because they're tight and you can always read. I link you to the next book immediately. I set up the next couple in the book, and immediately, so they're like, I need the next one. I need the next one. Purposeful. I come from TV, so I have a plan, but I have not enacted that plan yet because I don't get a lot of audiobook sales right now.
Okay, well, that's cool.
Right.
Do you find that, sorry, this is jumping back to ebooks or print books actually, that a 30K book in print it looks okay, it looks quite thin to me.
This book, show and tell, guys.
Yeah,
Sorry,
please.
you're not on camera.
Please.
This book is 15K.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Looks
That looks
great.
good.
And that's a 5 by
I
8.
have an idea. Sorry, guys, if you're not on camera.
They all will be. They all
idea.
will
Need
be
to
now.
come to YouTube and watch this if you're listening. Just saying.
I have an idea. I saw this also at Author Nation. You see this? This is Ingram Sparks' little how-to print guide. And I was like, y'all can print that small? So this is a 4 by 6 book, I think.
Yeah.
Which would make it look
I have
bigger.
seen some in the
idea.
libraries.
I have an idea. Let's just say I have an idea of some things to do with this size of a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I've seen
Wow.
that
Okay.
size book at a book signing type sales place, Ages of Pages in New Zealand, and it was and they had just done a whole bunch of books, and they were kind of calling them the pocket size book,
Yeah.
and it was
Love
like
it.
a real basic, a different cover to the ones they'd done for their bigger size, and they looked really good, and they had a whole bunch of them done, and it looked very similar. Yeah, it was just it looked really good.
Ideas, Trudy, ideas.
The only reason that I brought it up was because I had an interesting conversation at this place that we go to, Ages for Pages, and a reader came up and she was looking at my other books, which are a bit girthier, and said, "Oh, this is a bit of a thin one, isn't it?" And it was quite a disparaging mark. And I thought, well,
Not for her.
but it's cheaper,
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's not for her. So
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And it's
Thank you for
different
answering that. Yeah.
selling them online versus having them physically there. It would be different. Like it's no
Yes.
kind of someone
yes.
comparing.
And people like to compare,
versus-
right? They just do. Money, value for money.
Yeah. So
Writing things
what's your main sort of, how do you drive traffic to your website? What's your main advertising platform that works best for you with your links to your shop and stuff like that?
So I do use my newsletter, but I don't get the best bang for my buck on my direct store with my newsletter. Because I've had my newsletter for years. Some of them are freebie seekers, some of them have read everything already. So I get sales, but not like the best bang for the buck. What the best bang for the buck is new to me readers that I'm finding on Facebook, doing
Okay.
Facebook advertising. I have some other friends that get a lot of their traffic from TikTok. Some friends that get it from Pinterest.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right?
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah, I know, I know. But so my number one is Facebook. My number two is my newsletter.
Do you do the Klaviyo newsletter through Spotify and keep them separate?
So I am gonna lock myself in. I just downsized from a house to a condo. I'm trying to train myself to say condo and not house. I'm locking myself in my condo for the month of December, and I'm redoing my entire newsletter because when I originally started, I was in Klaviyo and I just got overwhelmed. It was just so much. It takes me a while to get overwhelmed. Y'all know I have a lot on my plate, and I like a full plate.
Yes.
And I set up Klaviyo, I set up the flows, and I was just overwhelmed. I was like, this is too much. MailChimp will integrate with Shopify. Let me just do everything from MailChimp to Shopify. I do not recommend connecting Shopify to MailChimp, MailerLite, ConvertKit, Flowdesk, any of them. Klaviyo. Yeah. Because they have Shopify's Klaviyo's boo. And they communicate the best. So I'm gonna get off my tired chain, get off my tired couch, and
I hear you. You have no idea how much I hear you.
Yeah.
I've just gone to MailerLite from MailChimp, and now I probably have to go to Klaviyo. Oh my God.
No,
Yeah.
but
Well,
here's
it's
the thing
separate,
though.
though.
It's two separate things, I think, isn't it? So you've still got your general newsletter in MailerLite or MailChimp, and then you've got your Klaviyo, which is a different audience.
Yes.
A different
And
beast.
that audience, that Klaviyo audience are the purchasers from Shopify, and they will continue to buy if you nurture them. But
Yeah.
my MailChimp audience, they're like, huh? Wait, can you just tell me the next new release in ebook? And
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, so I
Yeah.
need
Don't
to
want to hear
do them
anything
different.
else.
And I was
Yeah.
trying to combine them,
Yeah.
and because I was tired, and
Yes.
it didn't
Yes.
work.
Do
Didn't
It's a
work,
you
not
hard
work.
lesson to learn, I think,
Mm.
because it just sounds so ridiculous that now you're going to have to set up a whole new newsletter and start from scratch.
Yeah.
But actually, if you do set it up right on Shopify, the minute they buy something, they're on the newsletter.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
that side of it is kind of done for you. But yeah,
Mhm.
it's just writing another newsletter, isn't it?
So do
Lord.
you still, with the Clavio, I would call them the shop people, do you still then add them to your normal mailing list as well?
No.
No.
So you have
No.
two newsletters, basically.
Yes. That you're
And
going to
you
treat differently.
and do you send them like an update that's maybe not an automated
So the language is in Klaviyo is you set up flows. So the flows
Yep.
they get triggered. They come onto they buy something, they go into that's a trigger, they go into a flow. They click on something else, they go into a trigger, that's the trigger, they go into a flow.
Yeah.
Campaigns are what we're used to doing. So you can run campaigns to those same people on your store as well. You can just I mean it can be simple as copy and paste over, but I'm
Yeah.
still going to talk to them differently because I'm noticing like you might know I have a little bit of a sticker addiction. So I don't get mad when sticker shops send me emails every single day, sometimes twice a day. So because they know I'm a buyer. They know they're going to get me at one point. And so I'm like, why do I need to send these Klaviyo people one email every once in a while? They clearly are happy to buy books from me, and I have a lot of books. So I'm gonna, in addition to the flows, I'm gonna set up campaigns the way that I see my sticker shops doing it.
Okay.
That's a
Lovely.
good idea, isn't it?
Have you got all of
I
your
will be on my
books?
couch all December.
Yeah, you will be.
Wow.
Can I come sit with
I was
you?
going to say, can we fly over? So I
Come on.
can just like,
It's
Let
like
me send
we need a retreat just for setting up Clavio
Come on,
flows.
seriously.
Yeah.
So with do you have different branding? Like so if someone's on the Klaviyo and your MailChimp newsletter, which presumably some people will be because if they go buy through your website, they get automatically added. Have I got that right? So does it look differently? You've said that you're treating them differently as in what the language and what you're saying, but
I treat them differently because of the actions. So for example, for Shanae, the thing that I consistently push is like a 6-book bundle for the Wounded Warrior books. So if they purchase that, then they get put into a flow, taking them through the 6 books and encouraging them because there's 6 more books after that and encouraging them on. So if they click on certain things in the newsletter, that's a trigger and that will start a whole new flow. And you can just make flow. For example, think about that. I have not done this yet, but think about this. So I've had artwork commissioned for each of these 6 stories, right? I've had the happily ever after artwork commission. So, but that's not immediately included. So now when they're in that first flow because they've read the book, I can say, hey, did you like Fran's story? Well, did you know there's artwork of him? If you click here, you can maybe even read the second epilogue and get the artwork. And that's just from one click. And that would be like a 1 email flow or 2 email flow because maybe they get the artwork and then the second email they get the story. Maybe
So
I'll be
the
on my
artwork would be like
January.
merchandising. That would be
Yep.
another aspect on your store. Cool, another
Yep.
product.
Yep.
yeah.
Oh.
our problem here is
January. Y'all might
posting.
see me in January.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
problem from us is we can't post from here.
Yeah.
It just costs too much. So we've sort of got to,
Yeah.
if we have our own
It's
store here,
horrendous.
horrendous postal cost.
What
But
about even distributors like,
Yeah.
Lulu or Book Vault?
yeah,
You
that
do
would
it
be the
for
way
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 definitely, definitely.
So
And I know
Interesting.
I know that Ingram is coming out with something. I don't have it near me. They gave me a flyer. They're coming out with so that you could send it direct to them. See, straight off the presses. Sharon Summer's book with shareable purchase links from Ingram. I will send you
Oh,
guys the information, but it's basically Ingram Spark shopify.com/sell my book. And
Okay.
they have this is why you go to conferences, seriously.
Yes, it's
You can
true. It's
find out all the
true.
best things.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can create links to sell your books, you set the price, and they will print it for you.
Mm.
Okay. Do you
Okay.
do special editions at all on yours?
Yes,
Right.
but my special edition, so I understood really quickly, really early on that it's about the price. Because I first started selling my 6 book bundle for $9.99, and that's one of the reasons that I was losing money.
Mm,
Yeah, so
yeah.
I cut the price, and I was nervous. I was like, people don't do this, but they don't do it
Yeah.
on Amazon because Amazon is training them to look for the cheap stuff.
Mm.
But these are people that are not interested in buying on Amazon. These people are looking for a deal, and they're happy to come to you for that deal because these deals do not exist on Amazon. I have 3 book bundles on Amazon, but I'm not going to go much higher than that because I'm going to lose money.
Mm.
So, yeah.
You do that. What about, is there a discount that you give? So you're presumably selling them for like a little bit less. You mentioned 10% before. Is there have you tested out 20% versus 10% versus 40 or whatever? Have you got some data on that and what works?
I did. I tested those out, and I started at 50%. Like, get this amazing 50% off deal. Still making money off it. These are just digital. These are just digital. And my only cost was the $39 a month that I was paying Shopify. But so the bundle might be $24. And so two sales, and I've paid my cost. Plus BookFunnel, but BookFunnel, because you need to get the web code from BookFunnel so that BookFunnel can send the link to the book to the people. But that's as cheap as $20 a year. So say my cost is $40 a month if I average all that together. So 2 sales will take care of everything. Everything after that is profit. So I wasn't scared to do a 50% discount, but I started high. I started the price high. So I raised the prices of my books. And people always say, well, if you raise the prices of your books on your shop, then won't they get mad at you because they're not that high on Amazon? No, they can still go buy it from Amazon. But if they're coming to your shop and they're seeing all the stuff that they can get here on your shop, they're probably going to stay on your shop. And then their book is going to be so amazing that they're reading your book. They're not going to anyway. So then I went down to 40, and then I went down to 30, and then I just stopped talking about a discount altogether. I was like, get this bundle of books because I really feel like that's what they wanted. They wanted
Yeah.
with the story, I proved to them this is your catnip, and I've got a lot of your catnip for sale.
Mm. Yeah.
So I was just talking to Tara Creeman from Kobo the other day, and she said exactly the same thing. She said to me that you're pricing your box sets too low. People come onto Kobo and they're not necessarily wanting a sale. They're wanting the convenience of having all the books together in one place in one box set. And that was interesting. So
And if you think about it, if
We've
they
done
go to
it
each
too.
book, you're saving them all those clicks, aren't you, by giving them to a bundle,
Exactly.
sending them to a bundle.
Exactly. And then they're all going right there on their e-reader. And also so you can make the choice. You can put them all in one file, which I don't think readers like. I tested this out too. They like having the individual books.
Yeah, I
But
think
if
that's
you
true.
have and BookFunnel will do that. Like you can make a choice. BookFunnel, you can put all the books in one file, one vellum file, and put that big omnibus onto BookFunnel, onto Shopify and onto BookFunnel for BookFunnel to deliver. Or you can just tell BookFunnel, hey, if someone clicks this particular link from my shop, send them all 13 of these books. But here's the trick thing. Some readers don't pay attention and they're like, so what's the reading order? So you want to have either on your website or within the book some way to identify the reading order.
yeah. All these little tricks and tips.
Oh,
that you've
so
got to know
many,
about.
right? And that's the thing, what you were saying, there's just there's just so much, isn't there? So you've just sort of got to take it one step at a time and go, I'm going to deal with this week. And because she does, especially if you're a newbie, right?
Yeah. If you're a newbie, there's two options. Start with PayHip and put all your books through PayHip. Put the links on your site along with the Amazon link, the whatever other links you have. Or you can start with Shopify or whatever, WooCommerce, Wix, whatever. But do a bundle. Do a bundle. And just get that bundle. I think the industry standard is that 2% of people that click on your site will actually buy.
Okay.
Work to get that up. Try to aim to get up to 5, aim to get it up to 15. I think I'm at 25%.
Wow,
That's
that's
cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
Because I sat down every single day and I was like, what if I change this? What if I change this? And I changed. You've talked to Sky Warner, you've taken her class, and she talks about iteration. It's the same thing that we learned from her with iteration of Facebook ads. You're iterating your sales page and you have complete control. You do it one change at a time. And you can A/B test. There's software where you can A/B test and you can look and see which of the pages with that one change got the most conversions, not just clicks, but conversions. You can add spyware, like Mouseflow, or there's one that comes with built-in, or that can be built into Shopify, called Lucky Orange. And that will shows you where people clicked, it shows you where they scrolled. If they're on your site, it will take a video of all the movements and for however long it's been there. You're not going to get their information or be able to identify them, but you can see what they're doing.
Yeah.
And you can follow that whole journey. And that's
what
I did.
My gosh.
So first of all, I want to say thank you for saying that you're still to set up your Klaviyo, because I think that's really reassuring that, you're also a human. I mean, far more evolved than we are, but you're still a human. But also the fact that this isn't a set it up and forget it kind of model of business. This is, you are managing an e-commerce store, and this takes time and, like you say, iteration, and actually looking at the data and really focusing on it. And in order to, I would say, make that time well spent, you need to have a certain number of products in your store. Otherwise, your time is better spent writing books. So I guess what I'm getting to is we have a number of sort of beginning authors saying, when I say beginning authors, beginning self-publishers saying, should I have my store if I've got 1 or 2 books? And I would say no. I don't think, like you're saying, you could maybe do it with PayHip on your traditional website, but to put the time in of what you're saying here, I would have thought you would have needed at least enough to make a decent bundle to actually make it pay off.
I would push back on 2 things, because I agree with you. However, you might have some newbies in there that maybe they're doing special editions. Maybe they're and a special edition is more than a $3 ebook, or than a $10 paperback, right? So if that special edition is like $25, that could make sense. And if they know how to find their audience, if they can point somewhere and be like, I can sell to that person, be it Facebook or TikTok. Because if you don't have those 2 things, if you don't have a product or a bundle of products, that's at least $20. I feel like you're going to lose money. If you don't know how to find your audience and you're just set it up and you're like, open the doors, and there's nobody out there, you're going to lose money. So with those 2 caveats, I would venture beyond PayHip. But if you don't know those 2 things, if you don't have something to sell for at least $20 and you don't know how to find your audience, PayHip.
That's really good advice, I think. Yeah.
Is it easy to switch from PayHip to Shopify if you get to a certain point, or is that just
nothing easy?
Taken down her PayHip links on her website and switched them out for no, they're still there. I still get sales from PayHip. I have a full plate. Gotta make choices of what I'm gonna do.
That's on the dessert plate.
Would the majority of your sales now come through your shop?
No. My shop and Amazon are always neck and neck, and I'm not mad at them. Duke it out. Keep on duking it out.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's cool.
Awesome.
Do you have you're wide, presumably?
Yep.
Do you have free perma-free books? on
I do.
the other platforms still?
I
So do
do.
you have them free on your website as well? How does that
I
work?
do, and that is not the recommended advice. The recommended advice is to make them paid, and the only way that a reader can get them is with a coupon that they have to get from you.
Okay.
Full plate, guys. I'm just like, I don't feel like it. I know it's an easy couple clicks of a button, but I'm like, I already set it up. It's fine.
Yeah.
But do as they say, not as I did.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. My head's going to explode now, just quietly.
Yeah, after the thing.
I'm
So
And of
coming
course-
over. Have you got a spare room? Because, you know, I do have things I need to do.
Come over. Or I'll come visit you.
Yeah,
Or
Yeah,
come
you
back
do
over.
that. You
Either
do
or.
that.
Maybe we
Yeah.
could meet somewhere in the middle, like
Yeah.
Fiji or Hawaii or somewhere, and
Yeah,
just like.
yeah.
Well, I mean, if you twist my arm.
So can I
Or
just ask a personal, this is a, we've talked to you before about productivity a lot, but just the mental shift for you to actually add this to your workflow, if you like, your daily or your weekly. Like, I know you're a planner girl, and shout out on the stickers, because I'm getting all these Erin Condren. I can't even begin to tell you how expensive
Air
it
Canada's the
is
devil.
to get you wait until you have to pay shipping to New Zealand. You
Oh
wait.
my gosh.
But
Oh,
now
don't
Erin
watch Erin
Condren's
video
got me
today.
in her sticky grip.
Oh,
I can't use anything else. I'm now spoiled for £80 Mohawk paper. And so
Anyway.
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But
It's like
I'm
you're speaking
there.
a different language, I'll be honest.
I know.
Yeah.
I
But
don't even have a walk chart.
but
you know?
going back
She
to
does
the
not.
planning,
Don't have anything.
did you have to make a mental shift to add the shop stuff, if you like, to your workflow, or is it sort of, have you folded it into how you time out your writing and your production schedule, I guess? How have you worked it in?
so two things. I work in systems. Once I get a system up and running and I kick it and I poke it and make sure that it's going to go, I move on to the next thing. So this, I usually have a yearly project. Maybe 3 years ago, it was all about German. And 4 years ago, I was all about audio. I was trying to get all of my books in audio. And as I was working on that, then the next year came around and it was German. And German sales quickly overtook audio. And I was like, okay, audio, you're getting pushed to the back burner. And German, almost all my books are in German right now. And then the year after that was Shopify. What really was direct sales. So I kind of have one or two big projects that I'm going to work on for the year. And my audiobooks, even though I put a stop to them, I had a like a conveyor belt system running. Same with the German books. I had like a stable of translators, and and I put it all in planners, of course. And then the same thing with Shopify. I spent months working on one bundle of books. And I did everything with that. I have over 100 books, guys, but I was working on these 6 books, just that bundle. That was my full attention. How can I get this bundle of books selling? What did I need to do to the product page? What did I need to do to the sales? What about my Facebook ads? How can I get the flow set up? I focused on that. I got to the metrics that I wanted, and then I copied and pasted for everything else. That was the system. And now I release about a new series every year, but the system's already in place. So now I copy and paste that system for the new books. I will tweak because but I mostly write the same tropes. I definitely write the same subgenres, and I mostly write the same tropes. So I'm already thinking about the tropes as I'm writing the books, and I'm editing the books, and I can pull those out and plug them where I know gets the best conversion. So there's a system in place now.
Love that. I love that answer, and I just want
Embrace that answer.
I
That's
want to
great.
crawl under your desk and just
Filled with admiration.
just live there. I love that. Thank you.
Can I just ask quickly, what are your Clifton strengths, your top 5?
We have to go there.
Yes, we
Seriously.
can. No, I haven't met another me. I'm number 1, discipline.
Yeah.
Not another one. Number 2, achiever, and then I have to look. Number 3, intellection. Number 4, focus, and number 5, learner.
Okay, well, I share too, so
None of
they're
mine.
sadly the thinking ones.
I have no idea what I am, but I'm sure I've got something in there.
You have got achiever in there, Wendy, and you've got discipline in there
Both
as
authors
well.
are achievers.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's, I mean, that completely makes total sense to me that those are your
It
top
does.
5. Like you're a big thinker, but you're also a doer and you get stuff done. And yeah, that's awesome.
And then I get a sticker.
Then you get a sticker.
Yeah.
It makes you
There
happy.
you go.
And all is right with the world.
I would
So-
love it if a sticker made me that happy. It would be great at the end of my work. If someone gave me a sticker, I'd be, yes.
Maybe you need to get your husband to do that, Wendy, when
Yeah,
you've done a
maybe-
day.
maybe he should
Literally,
pat you on
Right.
the head or something.
yeah. I'm
Maybe.
happy
Just like-
to take one
Probably
for the
punch him.
team and create some stickers for you and
You do
send them
that.
down to him.
Yeah, you go for it. They'll
See
get
how
lost, but
excited.
give it a shot.
Oh
Awesome.
dear.
Well, thank you so much, Ines. I just
That
want
was
one more
amazing.
question. I've got, if there was one piece of advice that you could give like a new self-publishing author about who's just starting out, what would it be? What would your advice be to them?
It would be to, it's kind of corny when they talk about like, where would you want to be in 5, 10 years? I think that's important. I don't think any of us really say, I want to be the top seller on Amazon. We usually say, I want to be a bestseller, you know? So just understand that 5 years ago, things on Amazon, on Barnes and Noble were different. So just understand that in 5 years, things may look different. So just think about setting yourself up for success. And I do think that if you have a website, at least set up your website to sell your books, just in case things get weird. Or, maybe if you want to move to New Zealand and then it gets harder to like ship
I
books
mean,
over
yeah.
here,
Yeah.
what have you.
You can't have
So, yeah.
everything.
You
Yeah,
can try.
I love
Cool.
that.
Try.
Awesome.
No, that's
And-
awesome.
Great
Thank you
answer.
so much.
And I actually just wanted to ask a quick question too about the course that you run on direct selling. Could you just tell us about that a little bit?
Sure. So there's actually 2 courses. Because when I understand something, I want to tell everybody. One of my friends was saying, I don't know the word I know the word us and we, because as soon as you tell me your idea, and I'm like, okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Like, it's my idea too, and I have to shepherd it on. Because I don't believe that whole like scarcity mindset of like you're at the top by yourself. No, I want my friends by me, and I want other cool people by me. So I will tell you what I know.
Yeah.
But I can't talk to everybody. So I started making courses, and one of the courses were when people started to ask me, how do you do direct sales? I made a PowerPoint. And that PowerPoint, I started to present it, and then I turned it into a class. And that class is at inesrice.com/direct. And it shows you in 7 days how you can set up your direct sale. I don't promise you that it will take you 7 days, because some of us are deliberative and we need to think about it and we need to intellect about it. I get that. I'm number 1 discipline, so just understand. But so there's that class that will help you get up and running in 7 days. But as I was teaching that class, people started asking me, well, how are you running your Facebook ads? And I would say, I run my Facebook ads the way Sky Warren taught us all how to run Facebook ads. And they'll be like, but she didn't teach me. I don't have access to authors, oh my gosh, ads for authors that Sky Warren does. So what do I do? So I just started to nag Sky. I'm like, you should really reopen your course. You should really reopen your course.
Yeah.
And then like a year later, 2 years later, she was like, okay, I'll reopen my course if you include your direct sales course. So she took my direct sales course and then we expanded it. Now we talk about special editions and how to do that. Now we talk about the whole full store and how to do that. We talk about merchandising. We go into depth on the spyware. I didn't really talk about that in my course, but we go into depth on the spyware and how to use it and how to iterate your pages, your sales pages, so that you can get those higher and higher and higher conversion rates. There's also not a one-on-one live component with my course, but there is with Sky and I, which we run together. So there's like a 6-month live component where we are looking over your shoulders, nagging you. I'm the nagger. And we're helping you because we're doing this for the readers. Everything that we do is for the readers. I love this community that we're in, and I feel it is my responsibility because of all the joy that romance novels have brought me, because of all of the warm hugs and the pats on the backs and the you got this that I get from the ladies in Romancelandia and the guys. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I want everybody to make sure that none of our books ever get banned, that we are free to sell, free to read them. So yeah, come hang out with us. If you want to do it on your own, you can go to my course at inesrice.com/direct. Or if you want to come hang out with me and Sky and be with a lot of other smart folks, you can look for the site Direct Sales for Romance Authors.com, because we talk kissing books.
Oh.
Is that open at all times, or is there a
My course is open at all times because Sky and I we have lives. Her more than me. This will be the second time that we open up the Direct Sales for Romance Authors, and the doors close, I think, like the last Saturday or Sunday in December. And we hit the ground running in January, and we have had amazing success with the authors that we helped in the first cohort. And I'd love it if some of your audience would come and join us.
That's great.
You have been warned that I am a nag. And once you tell me something, it's no longer I or you. I say we. I say us.
And plus, you'll be coming out of your Clavio cave after a month. You're going to be, you're just going to be so
ready for people.
to get shit done, as they say.
Awesome.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. And so if someone just wants to say hi, where's the best place to find you or contact you?
Oh, the best place to find me, it would be on Facebook, probably. You can just look for Ines Johnson. I'm there. I'm mostly in people's DMs. Not when I have a sprinting break, I just start to chat because that timer and the writing the words. But that's the best place to find me is probably on Facebook, and I'm starting to do some TikToks again. So
exciting. Awesome.
Nice.
Fantastic. And where can we be found, Shah?
We can be found at spygirlspodcast.com. Thank you to everybody that subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm delighted to say that we've made it over the 3,000 mark. So my begging shall cease now.
That put us out of our misery for having
really appreciate that. Really appreciate the lovely comments on there. I'm amazed that we've been going in this podcast for 9 years and people are still finding us, which I think is actually, for all of us that think, oh gosh, have I exhausted the readers in this? The answer is no, because there's billions of people out there, and it's the same for us podcasters as well. People still find us. So that's where we are at Spa Girls Podcast on YouTube, and we're on Patreon /Spa Girls Podcast.
Awesome.
Nice.
Thank you so much, Ines, for joining us here today.
Thank you
it's
again,
been fantastic.
Ines.
Mind blown. And
again.
And thank you to all of our listeners for joining us for another episode of the Spa Girls Podcast. We'll be back again next week, but for now, farewell.
Keep well.
Bye.
Bye.